Hey guys, Tiger here. So a while ago, alpha accounts were introduced to EVE Online as a form of playing the game for free. It's been a while and CCPs are now ready to iterate on that idea and introduce a few changes and expansions on the free-to-play concept. According to CCP, the primary reason for doing this is to make an alpha account more of a full experience in the game instead of what many people consider an unlimited trial, basically. That's pretty much the impression I got from a lot of people in the comments of the previous alpha video I made. That a lot of people considered it very, very restrictive and pretty much saw it as much of an unlimited trial and not so much of a full experience, because so many ships were locked out, so many parts of the game were still locked out for alpha accounts. So at EVE Vegas, CCP made an announcement telling us that the alpha portion of the game would receive a pretty big makeover. So if you want to see the previous video I made about alpha accounts, I'll link it up in the screen right here, and I'll leave a link in the video description as well, so you can check it out. Just keep in mind that as of right now, a lot of what you see in that video is already outdated. So for your most accurate information, just check out this video instead. So let's go over the changes. First and foremost, alpha characters are now able to use battlecruisers and battleships. And that's a pretty significant upgrade, because the original alpha program only allowed alpha clones pilot frigates, destroyers and cruisers. So the jump up to battlecruisers and battleships opens up a lot of new ships for alphas to play around with. And to give the ships that they have access to a little bit more power and a little bit more oomph, they also get access to the Tech 2 small and medium weapons that you can find in the game. So you're no longer restricted to Tech 1 items, Tech 1 weapons. Keep in mind this only applies to Tech 2 small and medium weapons. Battleships use large weapons, so they will still be restricted to Tech 1 weapons. But CCP has said that they are not averse to maybe unlocking that in the future, so battleships can also use Tech 2 weapons on an alpha account. And if that wasn't good enough, alpha characters will now be able to train ships from every faction in the game. Previously, alpha accounts were locked to the specific race they chose at the character creation. So if you were a Caldari character, you could only fly Caldari ships. If you were a Galante character, you could only fly Galante ships. That restriction has completely been lifted. That means that if you are a Caldari character, you can train into Amar or Galante or Minmatar. There is no restriction anymore on the race that you can train. In practice, this means that alpha characters now have over 4 times the amount of ships that they used to have. So that's a lot of new toys to play around with. As an added bonus, that also means that the pirate faction ships are also available for alpha accounts, which includes the Macarial and a whole host of other ships like the Sisters of Eve ships, I think it also includes. So yeah, alpha accounts now get a really big portion of the game to try out completely for free. And I shouldn't even say try out anymore. With this amount of content, this amount of ships, there really is a lot of stuff to use in the game that it becomes a full experience. I think CCP was right on, fixing that. There also comes a slight change in the way that alpha characters train skills. And EVE Online wouldn't be EVE Online if this wouldn't get a little bit complicated. So I'm gonna try and explain this best I can. When you start an alpha account, you have a specific list of skills that alpha characters can train. All the skills on that alpha list used to add up to about 5 million skill points total. Now with all the changes and all the added ships and all the added Tech 2 modules and stuff, that limit has been raised to 20 million skill points. So that's 4 times the amount of skill points that you used to be able to get as an alpha character. However, alpha characters can still only train up to 5 million skill points for free, so that hasn't changed. To get access to the other 15 million, you do have to get either a skill injector or get an Omega subscription for a month, and then you can train beyond the initial 5 million skill points. The upside to this new way of training is that once your Omega subscription expires or you used your skill injector, the skills on that alpha list, so skills within those 20 million skill points, they will stay available for you when you go back to being an alpha account. Now I realize that sounds a little bit complicated, so let me give you an example. So say you have the drones skill at level 4 and you want to train it to level 5, but being an alpha account you already trained all your 5 million free skill points. So what do? Well, now you can either get a 1 month Omega subscription, so 30 days of Omega subscription, and train the drone skill to level 5, because the level 5 drone skill is now included on the alpha list. Alternatively, you can use a skill injector to instantly, get that skill to level 5. Now, once your Omega subscription expires, you'll still have access to the drone's skill at level 5, even though your total skill points have exceeded the 5 million limit that you originally had. Of course, there are still a lot of skills that are actually locked behind an Omega account because, for game balance and all that kind of stuff. So this doesn't apply to every skill out there. But while you're an alpha account, you should be able to see what skills can be trained and which skills are still locked behind an Omega account. So I hope that makes sense. I'll put the graphic on the screen. I hope it makes sense to you and that you understand. If you don't understand, feel free to leave a comment. I'll try to explain you in text best I can. So yeah, a lot of new things to do for alpha accounts. So like I said at the beginning of the video, in the previous video I had a lot of comments saying that, oh, this is so pay to win, or this is just a free trial and you can't really do anything as an alpha account. Well, I hope, and CCP of course also hopes, but I personally hope that this update means that playing an alpha character is now a viable thing to do for players. That it doesn't feel like a trial, doesn't feel like pay to win. It doesn't feel like you're being funneled towards an Omega account. I hope it actually means that people are going to play alpha accounts and be happy doing so, and don't feel forced to actually get a subscription. Even though, getting a subscription will open up a lot of extra content. I hope people don't feel forced to get it, at least until they're comfortable playing the game. So yeah, that pretty much wraps that up. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them best I can. If you haven't played EVE Online yet and you're dying to try it, click in the link in the video description to get 250,000 free skill points to get you started. You can basically spend those on the skills that you want and don't have to wait to train them. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.